It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome in to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 92 today. We have been waiting all week for you, 167 hours. We keep asking each other, where are they? Are they coming back? Where do they go? And here you are, right, ready to go, front and center. Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 92. We are here as well. So let's make a deal here. We will enjoy the next hour of clothes-free living for all of the right reasons together. The pool is ready, freshly cleaned this morning. The hot tub is going full bore, a little over 100 degrees right now. The grill is going. Everything is on there. Everything you could imagine. Steak, pork chops, chicken. We even put some fish on there for those who requested that. Fruits and vegetables off to the right. Cold drinks off to the left. Hot drinks, including tea and coffee inside. And because one of our listeners donated an espresso machine, we have that as well. You can have hot espresso. You can also have iced espresso. We just provide it all around here for you. Cigar bar in the back left corner of the pool area, not in the pool itself. Somebody wrote in and said, why do you have cigars in the pool? No, not in the pool, but in the pool area of the back left corner over there. Plenty of extra towels, plenty of extra suntan lotion, plenty of extra chairs. The only thing that you have to do is enjoy the rest of the day with us, at least the rest of the hour with us on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. As we like to say, and as I've already said once, clothes-free living for all of the right reasons. Just a quick reminder, we will be having our 100th show. That will come up a little bit later, and May 24th is the scheduled date. If everything goes according to plan, that's when it will be. If you would like to be a part of that 100th show celebration and submit an audio clip, we will gladly take that from you and play it on the show. Now, your clip should be no more than a minute. If you're a little short, a little long, 30 seconds, 45, a minute 10, that's okay. Don't knock yourself out trying to get exactly 60 seconds. You'll drive yourself crazy. No point of that in naturism. We're here to relax, not drive ourselves crazy. But make an audio clip. You can do it on your smartphone, your iPhone, very simply, and then send us the file, and we will include it on our 100th show, which, again, is scheduled for May 24. We get new listeners every single day, not just every single week on Saturday, but every single day. New people fire in, and we get some of the same questions over and over because they're new. When you're brand new, you have questions, and a lot of the questions are the same. And one of them is, have you really done a brand new 1-hour show every Saturday? For now, the email tomorrow will be for 92 straight Saturdays. And the answer is yes. And the proof is not only in the pudding, but the proof is also on Spotify, and it's on Apple, and it's on YouTube, and it's all over the place. Yes, a brand new show every single Saturday. And not a 10-minute show or a drop in the bucket 16 minutes. 60 minutes, a full 60 minutes every single week. Kind of reminds me of the guy who said, I flew in from Europe last night, and boy, are my arms tired. But we're not tired. We just keep going and going and going. The Energizer Bunny is alive and well here at Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Between myself and Lisa and Jennifer helping with the social media and keeping me straight, making sure that I know what I'm doing from moment to moment. We have a pretty good team here, and we appreciate you listening. And that's why we give you all of that, because we know that you enjoy it. And we'll talk more about that on our 100th episode. If you'd like to reach us, multiple ways to do that. Hit up our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com. There's a contact page there. Our email address is nakedforevermore@gmail.com. We are alive and well on Twitter. We're alive and well on Blue Sky. We're alive and well on Patreon. Yes, we appreciate your financial support very much on Patreon. but you can even join for free and be a free member and interact with us there as well. Well, on today's show, Lisa Monroe, just walking in right now. We'll do a segment with her. And when she departs, which will be a sad moment for all of us, we will have part 2 of my interview with Rick from Kick-Ass Nudists, a terrific advocate for the world of naturism. This guy is on fire for naturism. With that, I think I hear some music. Could it be? Yes, it is time for the great, the terrific, the fully clothes free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the completely clothes free and fully smiling, our naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. I'm doing very, very well today. And how about yourself?
Not bad, but you haven't commented on something that's been going on the last several shows when I introduce you. I purposely am not looking at you. And I'm sure you've noticed because we're only a few feet away, yet you haven't said anything. But you have noticed, right?
I have noticed, and I just figured that you were just, had to control yourself and stay focused, and because you were afraid I was going to make a face or something and make you laugh.
Well, that's exactly the reason. You have done that before, so I can be caught once. I try to not be caught twice. So I have to look at the ceiling, look at the wall behind you, and whatever, and just kind of look at the stars.
You're not obvious at all. Not the slightest bit.
Okay, we hadn't discussed that even off the mic, so I thought she must notice we're only a couple feet away, and I'm not looking at her because I used to look right at you when I introduced you.
Yes, you did.
Back when you behaved, but then you started misbehaving, so I got to change my MO as well.
Me misbehaving? I think most people realize that that's not the one who misbehaves in this group.
Oh, please. Well, I'll have to start putting truthful stories out there so people know the real you. How about that?
Oh, we might enjoy it. No, just be quiet. Everything's cool.
Okay.
Just look away.
All right. Well, it's episode 92 today, and 100 is not that far away. It's coming up in May. And just a reminder, if you as a listener would like to be a part of our 100th show and submit about a 1-minute audio clip, if you're a little short, a little long, it's okay. What the show has meant to you, how you found it, how you use it in your daily lives, send it along. And you can send it to our Twitter page or to our email address, nakedforevermore@gmail.com, and we'll include it in the show. And Lisa, I've not asked you about this before, so I'm putting you on the spot here. Every single show we've done, and including today, by the time we're done, 92 straight Saturdays. We haven't missed a Saturday yet. Every single show has been 1 hour long. Technically 59 minutes and 59 seconds. There's a reason for that. Let's just say an hour. Would you have an issue if on the 100th show we went over an hour, or do you think we should keep it to an hour?
I'm kind of two minds of that, but we've been getting such incredible response that we may have to, or we may have to do an hour and then sprinkle some of those messages over the next couple of shows. I don't know, but I kind of like the consistency that we have because people know they've got an hour to listen to the show, so they set it aside. But I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Just wonder how everybody else feels.
Yeah, well, if we tell them in advance, by the way, when you listen to our 100th show, it's going to go a little longer than an hour, and we can let them know the time up front. But maybe as a listener, why don't you write into us, nakedforevermore@gmail.com, or find us on Twitter, Patreon, Blue Sky. Let us know what you think. Is it okay if we go an hour, more than an hour on our 100th show, or do you want to keep it at an hour? Well, with that, I just mentioned the magic word Patreon a few moments ago. We appreciate those who support us financially. Everybody knows the backstory, gave up paid work to do this show for free, not what they teach you in business school at all. And we needed to recover some of that. We'll never make back everything that we gave up, and that's okay. We're not doing this for money. We never set out to do it for money, but we appreciate you supporting us in this endeavor. And with that in mind, as we do every week, Lisa Monroe, we have a couple of people we'd like to thank personally. Why don't you take it from there?
We sure do. And they are Brent and Terry, and they've been with us for a while, but we finally got down the list to their names, and we appreciate their patronage on Patreon and hope they're enjoying the content that we've been sending them.
Yep, very much so. And it's a great way to interact with us as well. Myself, Lisa, Jennifer kicks in every once in a while. Great place to interact, community wide or one on one, whatever you prefer. How about the merchandise? What you told me the other day, it's still flying off the shelves. You can barely keep it stocked, but what's going on there?
Well, it's doing really, really well, and I'm just really pleased that people are enjoying, what we had to offer. And so all they need to do is go to nakednudistandnaturist.com, which is our website, and look up the in shop, and there's a whole bunch of things for you. And the beach towels seem to be really popular. I'm really happy about that because they're really good looking beach towels.
Oh, yes, yes, very much so. And that way you can show it off at the beach or at the pool. You can
Yes.
take it wherever you go. You can even wear it around your neck at the grocery store, right?
Absolutely.
That will get their attention for sure. Hey, what is this naked? Oh, that show. Yeah, I listen to that every Saturday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern time on Spotify. See how I snuck a commercial in there?
I
Isn't
I
that clever?
noticed that,
Yeah,
and you know
yeah.
what? That's kind of not bad advertising because there's an awful lot of people out there we're finding more and more, especially not far from where we are, that are listening to the show.
Oh, yes. I still crack up when I think of that young lady. I don't know how old she was, 17 to 21, whatever, at the coffee place drive through. And she recognized my voice
Yes,
from the speaker box
yes,
on the other side. She didn't see me at all. Of course, she wouldn't recognize me, but
yeah, yeah.
just from my voice, she thought, oh my gosh, Frank Stone is at my drive through.
She was so excited.
Yeah, well, she was probably thinking, no, it's just some guy who sounds like
Yeah,
him. And then I handed her my credit card. Oh
yeah,
boy, Frank Stone, there
yes.
it is.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it's one of those, in this particular genre, you really never know who's listening because those who listen faithfully and tuck away every word that we say, they tend to not speak a lot about it because of the nuances that go on in life with society and work and friends and family. Well, I can't tell people I listen to Frank and Lisa and Naked Nudists
Yeah.
and Naturists, but I'll enjoy it. Now, if it was a show about sports, everybody be talking about it. So when our voices are recognized, it's just kind of
Hmm.
cool, kind of fun.
It is.
And it was neat to see her get a kick on her face, like, I can't believe this. It's my lucky day. Frank Stone is here.
Oh, she must have been just overcome. What
Yeah,
can I tell you? We're overclimped here.
that's right. Well, we have a couple of emails we wanted to share today. One was sent by a gentleman who is in some kind of online community involving naturism. And one of the women on this community posted something. He sent it along to me, and we're looking to get her to be a guest on the show down the road. She's coming out with a book. I can't give her name or even much about her. We've been asked to keep that as confidential as possible. But she gets into the whole top free thing for women. Why in the world can men walk around with their shirts off 25 hours a day? Women never can without some kind of issue arising. And she starts off with, it's astonishing to me how much of a woman's breast can legally be shown, but nipple visibility is crossing the line. There are still some women who are brave and fairly public about it, and I think COVID for a little while challenged bras as people were spending more and more time at home. But overall, most women aren't interested in being sexualized. Well, no kidding. Really, as somebody said, the only way to change it is if a large number of women banded together to change the norms. Isolated ones here and there will not affect much change. If I feel like my nipples are showing too much, I don't want rude comments or just men and older women feeling awkward around me. And once you take it from there.
If there was enough other women, not just in America as a whole, but in my local area, the Bible Belt, who were all ditching bras and feeling the nipple publicly, I would feel more comfortable doing so openly as well. If at least 1 in 10 or even 1 in 15 women could ditch their bras, that would make a huge change in society. But getting that many of us on board is a challenge. I think it would also require at least one or two very public figures to champion the cause. These would have to be women who weren't already doing outrageous things or sexualizing their bodies. Miley Cyrus and Lady Gaga wouldn't do. Not if they were going to change the minds of the average person, especially the average conservative. If we want to normalize nipples, it has to be normal. In your face activism isn't normal. Going about one's daily life, not calling attention to one's nipples, but not hiding them either, is how you normalize it. If we could get a good public spokeswoman and a critical mass of 5 to 6% to start out, going for a tipping point of at least 10%, we would be in good shape to really change things.
All right. And then she finishes up with, but until then, it just doesn't feel safe or comfortable for most women, especially those of us who are past our bold youth and are moms and or professionals. Now, this is something I remember asking my own mom about when I was in single digits, 4, 5, 6, whatever. I still remember a few conversations, never really got a good answer. What is that thing? Why do you wear that? And dad doesn't was probably the first question. And, I got some innocuous answer, never really was fully explained. I still don't get it today, other than here we go again. Society has told women, you got to wear a bra. And here's a push up bra. And here's a sports bra. And here's one that'll really make you look great. And then they get into the whole health thing. It helps to support the breasts so they don't sag when you get old. But it's like everything else in life. If you stifle something, it actually doesn't, I don't want to use the word grow, but it doesn't breathe like it should. And having a bra encase the breasts, stifles them and doesn't allow them to breathe, for lack of a better term. And actually, your health could get worse. And that's documented through scientific research. Now, Lisa, I am not the expert here. I will fully confess and admit on this show, I have never worn a bra. Never, not even in a closet when I was alone. Never even tried to put one on.
That's very good to note. And I expected that.
I thought I should reaffirm my masculinity there for a moment. What are your thoughts on this? The whole wearing a bra, not wearing a bra? I know you have for many years in public that you never do at home, but can't we just get women to say, chuck this noise? I'm not going to do what somebody else told me to do. I'm going to do my thing. What do you think?
I think it'd be wonderful if we could do exactly what she's asked to do, and that's to find someone with a visible enough profile to take this challenge on. I don't like bras. I hate bras. I wear them in public for a couple of reasons, but mostly because it's convention and people would look at you funny if you didn't, and well, they'd notice if I didn't, so let me just put it that way.
Mhm.
So I think it's something that just women feel like they have to do, and clothes are designed with bras in mind. So darts are where they're supposed to be and cuts are where they're supposed to be, because the breasts are supposed to be supported. And if you try not to wear something that's well tailored without one, things don't fit in the right spot. So it's very difficult for women to do both. So I think it'd be wonderful if we could at least get to the point where recreationally we didn't have to do this, or we could walk in the office with a t-shirt and no one was going to say anything. But I don't think it's there yet. And we've talked about this once before, and that's the how we would be activists. We're activists about something that's not approved of in society. This is not, changing the lunchroom at the school and everybody's up in arms. This is very personal. And so it'd be very, very difficult for us to do this and do it legally.
I wish we could ask every single woman in the world, if they wear a bra. But second question is, why do you wear a bra? And I'll bet the reasons would be along what we have talked about already. Well, my parents said I had to, or it'll keep the breasts healthier and whatever. But it's really ridiculous. Whenever it started, we don't know. But, men have certain rights that women don't have, and it doesn't make any sense. And I've told this story before. I was having breakfast at a chain restaurant, and this woman had a baby, and she just completely pulled her top down, both breasts exposed, to feed the baby. Now, I looked at that maybe 30 years ago, before I was born, because I'm only 27, as I've said many times. So when I was a -3, I might have looked at that and thought, whoa, this is my lucky day having an omelet toast and, whatever.
Eh,
But I saw it, now that I'm substantially more mature, that's my story and I'm sticking to it. I saw it as perfect. This is exactly how life should be. And really, that is how life should be, isn't it?
It certainly is. And this whole thing about women not being able to feed their children when their children are hungry,
Yeah.
what did they place blame on the female that's nursing their child, when in fact the issue is with these idiots who are going, "Oh my god, I'm so offended." Get a life, people.
Yeah.
This is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I agree. Well, hopefully, we are working to get this lady on the show. She wants to wait until her book comes out. I don't know when that will be. Could be a
Okay.
few months, could be a year or two. Whenever it gets all settled, we'll get her on and we'll delve into this a little more. We did get another email from a gentleman whom we will not identify either. And he starts off with Roadrunner Naturists just recently had their Mardi Gras St. Patrick's Day party, which was terrific. And my next adventure will be at the Mira Vista the second weekend of April, coming up in just a few weeks. Why don't you take it from there?
I was thinking today about body positivity. This, of course, is one concept of naturism which we enthusiastically support. Today, I saw a Facebook post from a social critic I generally agree with that was critical of positivity, stating that it promoted bad health. I commented with the following: body positivity is a good thing if not taken to the extreme. Our perfection obsessed culture, driven by images of Photoshop supermodels, has driven a generation to hate their bodies, leading to unnecessary, unhealthy dieting and body modification, and conditions such as anorexia, bulimia, depression, and suicide. Learning to love the skin you are in can help develop a better sense of well being. There are some people who take it to an unhealthy extreme, and I don't see that as true body positivity. Self love requires self care.
Yeah, and then he finishes up with this critic was referencing certain public individuals who justify their unhealthy eating habits and lifestyles under the banner of body positivity. I see this as a misuse of that term, which is a disservice to naturists and many other people as well. And then he goes on from there. Well, we've said that before. I think I said it on one of the very early shows when I had a guest on about that personality. I can't even call her a star or a singer, whatever she is, Lizzo.
Yes.
Very overweight in by anybody's judgment. And people are saying, you go, girl. You're so positive and love the, what? No, you shouldn't be doing that because that is unhealthy. That's no longer, as he mentioned, under the banner of body positivity. That's body going to heck in a handbasket fairly quickly if you don't take care of yourself. And so there are limits with that. Body positivity, as he said, is just accepting who you are, whipping the clothes off, get out there and enjoying life, not being unhealthy. Okay, I'm 500 pounds overweight, but by golly, I'm feeling good about it. Well, you can feel good about yourself, but you shouldn't feel good about being 500 pounds overweight. And I'm guessing you agree.
I certainly do agree. And for to me, body positivity is just another word for self-esteem. And self-esteem is probably the most important thing that any of us can have. If we have a healthy respect for ourselves, then we're going to be able to have a healthy respect for others. That doesn't mean that, I need to gorge on six, pecan pies tonight, which are my favorite. There has to be some balance here. Look, if someone is anorexic or someone's overweight and they come to a resort, that's fine. We don't treat them differently,
Right.
but internally, we need to look at ourselves and say, you know, this is not good for me. And it has to be about them. It's not about how anyone else perceives them. And, just live healthy and enjoy life and have that self esteem that allows you to walk into a nature's resort or wherever and be who you are.
Yeah, but don't take the term body positivity and apply it to, I am grotesquely overweight. I smoke 10 packs of cigarettes a day. I have a couple of cases of beer every day. Man, am I feeling good about myself? Because you're not going to feel good at all for very much longer. You're going to go, as I said, to heck in a handbasket health wise. So we appreciate his letter. I did want to finish it up, though, because he said something nice about us.
Oh,
And that
how
is, while it is
nice.
important to not judge ourselves or others based on external things such as appearance, it's also important to nurture and care for ourselves by promoting better health. Hope you are both doing well. Thank you again for your consistently excellent podcasts. He just became our number one listener of the day. How about that?
Absolutely. I really like these people.
That's right.
It's just nice to hear
Uh,
that. That's very kind.
yeah, I like to say, I'll just say it about myself. I won't say we. I would say I am cheap and easy. You pay us a compliment, you are in the front door, baby. How about that for
You know,
expediency?
I might be not quite as cheap, but yeah, I'm pretty easy when it comes to the compliments.
That's true. We appreciate that. And one of the goals when we first started this show, obviously my voice is heard throughout the show, the entire beginning to end. You hear Frank Stone pumping away there. You only come in for these segments. So one of my goals was to make you a primary member of the show, even though you're only here for roughly half of it. And I'm glad that people have accepted that. And I see what he said at the end. Hope you are both doing well. The early emails, hey Frank, hope you're doing well. Now it's Frank and Lisa, or sometimes, and I got to be careful here because you might be taking over. Sometimes it's hi, Lisa and Frank. That's okay. We're just glad that people accept us as a team, doing what we can to promote naturism, clothes-free living for all, right?
And that's what we're here for. And I do appreciate the fact that people are responding so well to these segments. And, we hope we're giving them what they want to hear, what they need to hear about naturism. And we're just talking about our experiences and what we think about this. And it's resonating with a lot of people, and that's really terrific.
Absolutely. Now, we talked about last time maybe getting into not so much numbers, but where we are heard around the world.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to postpone that until next week's show because we're a little short on time. And with that, Lisa Monroe, we must head for the hills. Go out there and have a great clothes-free week. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely, Frank, you too, and bye to everybody else.
All right. The very terrific Lisa Monroe. She does so much around here. I almost hate to start a list and tell you everything that she does for fear that I'll leave something off, but she does all of our website work. Everything you see on that website has been done and will continue to be done by Lisa Monroe. She helps with the Patreon page. She does all of the merchandise, everything involved with merchandise, designing, helping with the orders, fulfilling orders. she does it all there as well. And obviously she comes in here once a week for these segments to try to keep me on the straight and narrow. As tough a job as that is, she does very well at that. So we appreciate Lisa Monroe. A very busy lady, by the way. Maybe one of these days we'll tell you all the things that she does in life. But she's very busy, and we are glad that she can make it every single week. And then believe me, when I am signing off and when the music is playing, her exit music, she is exiting. She is taking off almost every week because she has another meeting or another appointment or another deadline to meet. And we're just glad that she's here and a big part of what we do here on Naked Nudists and Naturists, the very terrific Lisa Monroe. Well, as a reminder, we are the official podcast for the American Association for Nude Recreation. Are you a member? If so, great. Lisa and I are members as well. Glad to have you aboard. But if you are not, you can become one today very easily, just within the next few moments. Go to AANR.com, follow the navigation, sign yourself up, and within moments, you will become a fully fledged member of the American Association for Nude Recreation. How about that for a deal? I also wanted to slip in one more reminder about our 100th show. Today is 92. You're thinking, come on, Frank, it's 8 shows away. Get a life. But we are doing a lot of preparation in advance for that show. We're going to try to make it really special for you. And we have a number of audio clips that have already come in from previous guests, from listeners. But if you would like to submit an audio clip, as I mentioned with Lisa up front, and I mentioned at the beginning of the show, about a minute long. It can be a little short, a little long. It's okay. We don't want you to go on forever and tax yourself. That's not the point. Just what has the show meant to you? How have you enjoyed it? How did you find it? Whatever you want to put in there about the show. It's going to be a celebration. That's the whole point of the 100th episode. And if you'd like to submit an audio clip to have it played on that show, you can do so. Just go ahead and record it on your own. And if you have a smartphone or an iPhone, which I guess is a smartphone, you can record it there as many times as you want and get it the way you want it. When you're done, send us the file, either right here through the email address, or you can send it to us on Twitter or even Blue Sky. I think Blue Sky will take it. Or our Patreon page. We're all over the place. You can get it to us, and then we will include it in the show. And if we have your email address, and if you send it by email, obviously we will, but otherwise we might not. But if we do have your email address, we will let you know that we have received it, and that's ready to go in the show. So that's our 100th episode. If everything goes according to plan, that will be May 24th. We never know. I have an elderly relative. Any minute I could be called out of town. Has happened a few times in the last month or two. It just hasn't been long stays. Well, one of these days it could be a long stay. We don't know. But right now, it is planned. It's on the books, on the calendar for May 24, our 100th show. So plenty of time to get your clip in. But don't wait too long. We are going to put these in the software as soon as they come in. We're not going to wait till the night of May 23rd and put them in the night before. So you want to get those in early. I would say certainly within the next week or two if you want to ensure that it will be included on the 100th show. How about that? Well, let's get to part two now of my interview with Rick from Kick-Ass Nudists. And by the way, when he says it, it's Kick-Ass Nudists plural, but his website is Kick-Ass Nudist singular. So kickassnudist.com. Rick from Kick-Ass Nudists, a huge advocate for naturism. He discovered this. There is no turning back. He is all over the place out there. That's how we discovered him. He's just everywhere at all times. Posts multiple times on Blue Sky and Twitter and probably some other places every single day, as well as his website. A big advocate for getting a nude beach in the Pasco County area in Tampa. So let's get to it right now. Part two of my interview with Rick from Kick-Ass Nudists. Well, you mentioned there are nudists who are also swingers.
100%.
And we know that. You and I avoid them like the plague. The problem I have, and I'm trying to work on this one at a time, it's going to take me a couple thousand years. We have swingers who call themselves nudists, and they only call themselves nudists because that's their ticket in. If they say, hey, baby, I'm a swinger, let's go for it, people might shun them, but say, oh, no, I'm a nudist. And then they put the swinger moves on. And, they post all over the place, 5,000 videos or selfies a day, naked. That's kind of a sign. I don't know if you're really a true nudist naturist. You're just maybe an exhibitionist and trying to show off your wares for future endeavors. So that's part of a problem we have, too. When other people see that, non-nudists, they just assume we're all swingers. And it sounds like you've encountered a few people like that.
Hot button. That is
Yeah.
definitely one of my biggest hot buttons.
Yeah.
And especially in social media, I actually get somewhat perturbed by people who they promote their pages and so forth and their blogs as nudist pages.
Yeah.
And you kind of fall into a false sense of security with them, and you start going through the page and you're looking at it and you're like, whoa, that is not a nudist photo.
Yeah.
Whoa, that is not a nudist topic. So like you said, I think they use the word nudism, nudist, naturist, close free. I think they do that. Yes, they get their foot in the door to try to get into the community, but that's what gives us a bad name in the community, because when people are searching nudism and they see these pages, once again, they're associating us with those pages. That is one of the hardest things we have to do as nudists, is to disassociate ourselves from people who promote a sexual orientation or sex life or whatever it is, and the nudist lifestyle. So you can be, adult material, but please promote it as adult material. Please don't promote it as nudism or nudist or whatever you choose to do. You promote your life however you want. We're the most accepting. Gay, straight, black, white, blue, purple, green, any religion. It doesn't matter who you are if you're a nudist and you're living the nudist life. We respect all nudists. But please, if you're going to post adult material, please just don't post it. Don't post it as nudist. Post it for what it really is. Because I've followed pages and had to unfollow pages once I start seeing what they're posting and so forth. And they're like, why'd you unfollow me? And I'm like, well, why do you call yourself a nudist?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, that's what it comes down to.
That's exactly right. I actually go out of my way, to the point friends have pointed out to me, like, you're way over the top on this, where I never make comments and I never stare. I mean, I'm consciously aware. I will never say to a woman at the beach, hey, you're looking pretty good today. Never. I would never say that, because then immediately it translates to, oh, I see what this guy's all about. He's after, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm not. I'm literally not. And so I go out of my way to make sure I'm not, that I don't appear as one of those guys. Yeah, I'm a nudist, and hey, baby, you want to? No, I'm not. I'm a nudist. That ends the story right there. Close-free living for all the right reasons, as we like to say. Now, I do want to turn, we're talking to Rick. He's the founder, owner of Kick-Ass Nudists. You can find him at kickassnudist.com. And a lot of amazing work there, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But before we do, you are big on this Gulf Coast of Florida, getting a darned legal nude beach over there. It blows everybody away, including me, that we don't have one over there. We have at least 3 on the East Coast, 2 of which I've been to. There might be more than 3. I probably have my numbers off, but 0 on the Gulf Coast. Even where Pasco County, as you put on your website, the nudist capital of the country. We don't have to get into why there isn't one there, but maybe just get into what's going on there? And do you think you're closer to getting one, or how's that whole movement going over there?
So it's funny, yeah. So
Yeah.
I am literally flabbergasted the fact that the nudist capital of the country, realistically, and if you look it up, Google it, nudist capital of the country, it's going to tell you Pasco County, Florida,
Yeah.
um, doesn't have a clothing optional or nude beach on the Gulf Coast. And I find that amazing since we promote Pasco County so much.
Yeah.
And I get it.
Yeah.
Now, I know that Pasco County at one time, I know they've thought about it. Tampa Bay Free Beaches is out there doing an amazing work, trying to get it. They're at the committee meetings and they're doing what needs to be done. Um, and I think it's just a lot of red tape. That's personally talking to people, and I'm sure
Mm.
there's more involved with it. But I just find it amazing that we don't have something on this coast. Now I know that Hillsborough County, or I mean, one of the counties actually, I think it was Hillsborough County, had a deficit of about almost $3 billion one year, not too long ago,
Yeah.
and they were looking at ways to bring money back into the county. And
Mhm.
one of the things they were looking at doing was possibly putting a beach that was clothing option or nudist there.
Mhm.
And I think they got the ideas because they were talking about Hullover, and with Hullover Beach, their parking alone brings in over $1 million a year
Wow.
at Hullover Beach. Just
Wow.
think about that, over $1 million just from the parking at the beach,
Yeah. Yeah.
and well over 500,000 visitors a year.
Yeah. That's great.
And Hullover Beach is rated one of the top, if not number one right now, nude beach in the world.
Wow.
So we get people from all over the world. In Pasco County, I don't know if you knew this, but Pasco County years ago used to have a budget where they would put grants out there to promote nudism in Europe to come to Pasco County.
Wow.
Yeah, they used to spend money. So, and most of the advertising they actually did that they would do is actually they would be in Germany because nudism, naturism is very popular in Germany,
Right.
and they would advertise. So you could apply for a grant, and your company could advertise and promote nudism for Pasco County. Bring here. I haven't seen really anything they're really doing that anymore here. But like I said, with one of the counties when they had a huge deficit, they were looking at actually doing it, and it just never went anywhere in committees and so forth. And that was just a few years ago, so it wasn't really
Mm.
too long ago. But it's funny when they're looking at a budget shortfall that they look to nudism to recover some of their money, which I think is fantastic
Yeah.
if they would have actually done something with it.
Yeah.
And it's not like we don't have the area to physically do it on the
Right.
Gulf Coast.
Right.
There is a lot of beach area. There's a lot of areas that are somewhat very private that you can actually do it at. And you
Yeah.
can actually put a clothing option on your beach. But I just, once again, I'm going to say there's a lot of red tape. Shout out to Tampa Bay Free Beaches again. I know they're working really hard at doing it. I mean, I've donated to them, and I know they're doing their job. But I'm, once again, I'll say it again, flabbergasted that we actually don't have one over here.
Yeah.
The fact that we actually have to drive to the other coast
Yeah.
just to go to a nude beach
Yeah.
is beyond me.
No, it makes
So
no sense. And I live probably the closest nude beach to me is about an hour away, but it's a little more than an hour because of traffic and getting in and out of the park and so on and so forth. Which means that's a 2 hour round trip and probably more, probably 2.5 hours. And it's tough to get 2.5 hours away from here during the day because we got a lot going on. But I can go maybe 10 minutes away, and it's not a legal nude beach at all, but it's a stretch of beach where nobody is. There's no parking. It's in the middle of federal land, and I can go there anytime I want and be clothes free and just have a very good time without fear of getting arrested or anything because nobody cares. So at least I have that. Do you have anything like that on the Gulf side?
um not that's official.
Uh-huh. Right. Well, right.
I
Same here.
know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I know there's a few people who've gone to a few beaches on the Gulf Coast, and they've made it clothing optional
Right.
when
Right.
nobody's around, and I get that
Right.
100%.
Right.
I'm not going to say if I did or didn't do that,
Oh
but
no, we would never ask you
I don't
that,
want to
Rick.
say, yeah. So I don't want to say if I did or didn't do that, um, but yeah, it's a very freeing experience sometimes on the Gulf Coast. So, but
Yeah.
I just don't understand why. And it's funny because here's the thing. Think about how many nudists come to Pasco County alone, how much
Yeah.
money it brings in. Nudism in the state of Florida is billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars
Yeah.
every single year,
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
multi-billions.
Yeah.
And how much money it would bring in. And it's not just to, the county for taxes. It's for all of the businesses, the hotels, the restaurants, the shopping districts.
Yeah.
This brings in money for everybody. So if you were to put a clothing optional beach or nude beach on the Gulf Coast, you have set yourself up with a gold mine of money to come into your community.
No kidding.
You don't mind taking it, from all the resorts and clubs in Pasco County. Because I mean, come on, people come here every year. We get tons of snowbirds. We're Lake Como's packed with snowbirds right now. They come down and they spend a ridiculous amount of money, not just here, but they travel throughout the community spending money. So you can only imagine what kind of money could be brought in to the counties and into the state. And I just don't understand how it's not there yet. I just don't understand it. And I just don't think it has a lot of, I don't know if it has a lot of community support either for it.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to ask you because usually money ends up ruling the day. Like, okay, folks, we need dollars here. How can we do this? Let a bunch of naked people run on the beach. Okay, let's go ahead. At least we can save our restaurants and hotels, and maybe even expand, and so on and so forth. Is there anybody, a particular person or a group that are vehemently opposing this, or is it just a general feeling it's just hard to get through because we've never done it before?
So that I would probably tell you to refer to like people from Tampa Bay Free Beaches because they're like kind of on top of everything and dealing with the situation.
Okay,
I did run a poll about getting a nude beach or clothing optional beach over here,
yeah,
and it was overwhelming to get one in
yeah,
the poll that I did across my
yeah.
social media sites.
Okay,
So the idea to get it there, I think it's there. I mean, I think it's there. I think it might be at the tipping point. I think inevitable it's going to be there. I think we're eventually going to have one. It's just when and how we kind of work out the situation and so forth. But I do see it happening in personal opinion.
okay, yeah, I do too. Just based on what I've heard, I don't live on, I live on the ocean side and the East Coast. I don't live on the Gulf
Sure.
Coast, but I know people who do, and they're saying, yeah, there's kind of a groundswell for this. Let's just do it. You're not going to have naked people running through the streets or visiting the bank, just a nude beach, and you can go there or you don't have to go there. You don't want to see naked bodies? Don't go there. That's pretty obvious solution, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, you can kind of look at the other beaches on the other coast. I mean, you can look
Yeah,
at Hullover,
yeah,
you can look at Blind Creek and Playlanda. I mean, you can look at these beaches and so forth, and you can see that there's no issues between the clothes or textile community and the nudists that are actually physically there. They work together. There's no
yeah.
issues. There's no problems. People already know that's what the beach is
Hmm.
when they go there, whether they're clothes or they're going to be nude. They
Hmm.
already know, and there's no issues with it. So realistically, I don't see how there would be an issue on the Gulf Coast.
Yeah,
Um, and I think once again, eventually it will be that way. Um, but it's a fight, and we have to keep fighting. And the benefit is we don't give up. I mean, because I think a lot of people when they do things, they give up way too easily because
yeah,
they kind of hit a roadblock or a brick wall, and they're like, well,
yeah,
I can't go beyond this. Yeah, you can.
yeah,
And I think a lot of times people want you to stop fighting. You know,
yeah,
but the benefit to us is there's so many of us in the nudist community in Pasco County that the fighting, it's not going to end. It's going to keep going. So
yeah. Well, that's part of the trick of the whole business, just in general, not nudism, but anything, is one side will keep resisting and fighting to hopefully wear down the other side, and then eventually they just go away, and that's a way of winning without actually having gone to battle. But it sounds like the whole group in Pasco County, like, okay, that's enough of this. We are here. We are not going away until we get this. Because it's
100%.
not going to hurt anybody on the one hand, but it's going to help a whole bunch of people, including the whole county, if we get it. So I don't see it going away ever, do you, until it
No,
becomes a reality?
no. And I wish people would understand how healthy of a lifestyle being a nudist is.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a majority of health benefits to living this life,
Yeah.
and people don't even realize that. Um, so yeah, I'm not clothes are just constricting. So I'd rather be, feel free in my body and free in who I am, and happy.
Absolutely.
So, and I just think once people wake up to that realization, and I think it is happening more and more that people are kind of waking up to it.
Yeah.
Um,
That's great.
I think we need to work on growing the nudist community and so forth. I think we need to get younger people back involved with it.
Yeah.
I know FYN is out there, Florida Young Naturists and so forth, and I
Hmm.
know yearly they hold different things.
Hmm.
But I love to see that because I think that's obviously the future of nudism is right there.
Yeah.
Is getting young people back involved in it. So
Yeah, and there is a big push with the American Association for Nude Recreation for exactly that, an intentional push, not just a committee in name only, but actually people working to develop that. Because I have found, I don't know if you've seen this or not, the younger crowd, and I'll go with 22 and up, it could be 18 up, it could be 25 and up, I don't know, but I'll say 22 and up. they actually are embracing naturism. But the difference is, you get the people 110 and up. They just want a place to hang naked and play some shuffleboard. A 22-year-old is like, you got to be kidding me. Give me something to do that's fun and active. And so if they can, have a basketball tournament, volleyball tournament, a 5K race naked, they're going to do it, and they're going to spend the rest of their day there. So there is a groundswell of younger people. We missed people in the middle for some reason. Didn't quite embrace it. So that's why, as people age out, there's going to be a big hole there unless we get it filled with a whole bunch of younger people, and they're on their way. Do you see it that way as well?
I will say that the older generation of nudists or nudism that are involved in nudism are locked in their ways.
Yeah.
So they see nudism as one way. And I'm not going to say I don't see them as open and with people about it and so forth, but it's been my experience, not just in, Pasco County and visiting places here, but visiting places throughout the country.
Mhm.
That, when you talk to young people about nudism and you talk to the older generation about nudism, it's two different talking points. So for a younger generation that I've found, it's about being fun and freedom
Yeah.
and experiencing life.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I talk to people that are older, and it's not everybody, but a lot of them, it's just, hey, it's just how I live, you know,
Yeah.
and you don't feel that same enthusiasm about, the lifestyle and being excited to live that way. Maybe you've been
Yeah.
living that way your entire life, and it's
Mhm.
just, it is what it is now.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the younger generation that I see getting involved in it. Um, because once again, they are the future of nudism and so forth. So I
Yeah.
think it's important that we're reaching out to them, embracing them, bringing them in the community, not pushing them away.
Right.
I
Right.
think we need to do that, and um, I'm glad to see that. It's funny when you go, depending what beach you go to too on the other coast,
Right.
different beaches have different age groups.
Okay.
Like in Hollover, they've kind of a mix of everybody, but I've noticed the younger generation at Hollover now.
Yes, I agree.
Um,
Yeah, I've
so
seen
I
that.
will say that when if you go to the other beaches, um, if you go to like Blind Creek Beach and so forth, when I'm there, I've noticed it's more of an older generation at Blind Creek Beach whenever I'm there. I'm not saying that's actually the truth for everybody, but that's been my experience there.
Sure. Sure.
Um, so it's just I think we just need to get the younger people to try it and experience it. Keep talking about it in a positive light, the joys, the benefits of living the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I think it'll happen. I mean, I think there's a younger generation. I think there is a young generation nudist movement going on right now in the
Yeah.
country.
Yeah. I've seen that as
And
well.
especially, I mean, on this coast, sadly on the West Coast, they seem to be losing their nudist resorts and communities over there left and right.
Yeah.
Um, having them, oh my gosh, having them become textile communities. Uh, Shout out to Dunedin. Just going to say that real quick. So, I mean, we need to make sure we keep these places on the West Coast because there's such a young generation on the West Coast right now, and they need places to go. So I know they have Black's Beach out there, which I love Black's Beach. Shout out to Black's Beach, definitely. But I think we need that younger generation, and if you come to Pasco County, everybody's welcome here. So we welcome everybody. Doesn't matter who you are. So any age, doesn't matter.
Yep.
Come and experience the lifestyle.
Absolutely. We are talking to Rick this morning from Kick Ass Nudist. He runs a website big in the Pasco County, getting a legal nude beach on the Gulf Coast as well, working with those folks out there every day on social media multiple times with memes, and we'll talk about those in just a minute. But Rick, let's talk about your website. It is Kick Ass Nudist, and it's a
Mhm.
singular, kickassnudist.com. We invite people to check it out. It's in the show notes as well. How did this website come to be, and what are some of the things that you're trying to get across through your website?
So as far as that, as far as the website, I think I just really wanted to promote nudism as much as I possibly could. But more importantly, living in Pasco County, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I could promote Pasco County.
Mm-hmm.
Um, since we are the nudist capital of the country.
Yeah.
So I do try to put different things on there so people can go there and be somewhat educated. There is a resources page on there where they can go and click different links, go to, like AANR,
Mm-hmm.
INF, go to your page. Your page is on
Yeah.
the resource page. Naked Wanderings, which is actually a great resource for people who are looking to travel abroad and even
Mm-hmm.
here now because they just came to Florida last year.
Yeah.
Um, but also to educate them on different things. There's a blog on there, gives you some ideas about nudism, the etiquette. How, what to expect or how you should act when you're in places. We do have social etiquettes, we're not just running around crazy people.
Right.
So there are norms that you need to follow, and there are rules when you're a nudist, because
Yeah.
we want to respect everybody's right. So that's on there. I started something a few years ago called Nudist Thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
which I was like, I can kind of do these things that pop into my head, and when people have questions about nudism, so it can educate people, where it's an educational tool. But I can also put some funny stuff out there too, because the lifestyle, we just like to make fun of ourselves sometimes. We like to joke around too.
That's true.
So I can put those things out
Yeah.
there, but it's just, something I was doing every day, and I was posting them every day, and it just kind of turned into this thing. I remember 2 years ago, I didn't post one, and somebody's like, "Hey, where's your nudist thought for the day?" And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, and so I had to like right away go put a nudist thought up because I didn't
Mhm.
post one for the day. And I'm like, holy cow, I apologize for that. I can't believe I missed a day. So it kind of just turned into this big thing with that.
Mhm.
Um, but then I like to promote, different places here. But here's the thing I will say is that even though I promote Pasco County, I do promote Cypress Cove on there.
Yeah.
Cypress Cove is one of the most amazing. I love Cypress Cove.
Yeah.
One of the most amazing nudist places, communities you can actually go to,
Mhm.
and it is hugely, hugely, hugely popular.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure I got Cypress Cove on there too. Bear RV, Caliente, Paradise Lakes, which are actually more lifestyle based. Um,
Okay.
Eden RV. So yeah, so I try to get places on there, and promote upcoming events, things they actually going on. So I can, put the Caliente 5K on there. I can put the volleyball tournament coming up in March here for Lake Como's on there, and the events page. So I just wanted to give people a resource they can go to. So right now, I think we have just over 50,000 people coming to the website a month,
Yeah.
to view it and
Yeah.
get clicks on it. So mostly it's the not so much the resources page, that does get a lot of clicks, but it's like people are looking at the communities there and seeing what's
Mm.
going on.
Yeah.
So I try to update it as much as I can, but there's just so much going on here, and they keep more and more and more and more events are happening.
Yeah.
So
Well, that's what got our attention with all the memes that you post on social media, particularly Twitter, as I still call it, and Blue Sky. Do you create these yourself? Are these your creations? All of them have your name on it, so I'm guessing so to a degree.
So yeah, probably 80% of them I
Yeah.
do myself.
Yeah.
There's other ones out there that people post and I'm like, oh, this is actually amazing. Oh, I
Yeah.
love this. This is like
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
And why didn't I think of that? So yeah, so I try to post stuff daily. I try to be creative with it, but I just posted one for the WNBR,
Yeah.
World Naked Bike Ride.
Right.
Because that's going on around the country right now. Um, I just posted one this morning about some stuff. So yeah, so I try to create something that, once again, I can talk about news, but I can educate people at the same time,
Yeah.
that want to experience the life. And this is the funny thing about it, is I still to this day am utterly shocked and amazed when I see other pages sharing them. And then I see other countries sharing them. I see places in New Zealand, in Australia, in Germany, in France, in the UK, in Italy. I'm like, somebody over there from the nudist group just posted my meme over there, and
Yeah.
people are liking it.
Yeah.
And then it's funny because I took a soda can and I made a meme out of a soda can,
Yeah. I saw
and
that. Yeah.
about, yeah, try nudism. And it was literally the number one shared thing that I posted in
Yeah.
January around the world. I'm like,
Oh,
the
wow.
number one thing. So I'm also the guy that, listen, if you want to like and share it, great. If you want to copy the picture and just put it on your page or whatever you want, go ahead and do that. I
Yeah.
am not mad at you,
Yeah.
because as long as you're promoting social nudism and body positivity, use that material.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not worried about copyright issues or any of that stuff. Just
Yeah.
go use it, promote the lifestyle. So, and that's where that's pretty much about every single day posting. You'll, if you go to Twitter or X or whatever, and you do that today, you'll see today there'll be a ton of posts. But I also do, I post events, and I post a lot. Whatever A&R posts, I try to repost it and so forth.
Yeah.
I post, what you're doing. I post what a lot of other nudist organizations are doing. I try to, push as many nudist resorts and communities as I can that post. I just wish, and it's funny because there's a lot of communities and resorts and so forth that have pages, but they don't really post on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I kind of need them for content. And it's so funny. There's one that I try to post about, but they don't post anything really on there. And
Yeah.
people are like, "Hey, why don't you post about this?" I'm like, because they don't post about it.
Yeah.
So I can post about them, but I can't post events and so forth,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Um, But in Pasco County, the places that I do, like Lake Como and Eden RV, I mean, these places do. I mean, they post stuff on there, so I'm able to put stuff on their pages.
Yeah. Well, that's why, we're big believers here. We put out content every single day. And, literally 7 days a week, something is hitting Twitter and Blue Sky and Patreon and so on and so forth. And basically, you do the same. You actually do more than we do in terms of numbers of posts. And that's what got our attention. Had you been one of those guys who just posted every 6 months, maybe we would have heard about you, maybe not. But the fact that you're out there every day, I mean, you're and literally in all senses of the explanation, walking the walk, and not just talking the talk, but you're actually doing it, and you're promoting it at a very high level. And it's been our pleasure to have had you on the show today. Again,
Oh,
Rick
thank
from
you.
Kick-Ass Nudists at kickassnudist.com. And Rick, before we go, you mentioned early in the interview that you write a lot of books, mostly in the spiritual realm.
Mhm.
How can people find those books, and maybe they'll have an interest in reading all about you?
So actually, you can go to Amazon. The last book, the one that I do talk about nudism in it, spirituality,
Mhm.
is called Generation U.
Okay.
And my name is Rick DOROCIAK. So if you want to look it up that way, you're more than welcome to. But if you go to Amazon, you look up Generation U, The Awakening Has Begun. That's my last book that I put on there. So you can definitely find it that way. If you want to check out books, there's a few other books on there. I don't know if they're all still available. Some of them are.
Okay.
If you want to read about spirituality and so forth, which I appreciate that, because it's so funny when we talk about where I live and taking trail hikes, and there's a meme I post about nature, and then I'm like, this is my church when
Yeah.
I walk out into nature. So, and it really is, this is where I feel that I am with everything that is, was, and ever will be. I'm there right now when I'm
Yeah.
walking through it. So, but yeah, so definitely if you want to check them out, go ahead and check them out. Absolutely. If you go onto my website and you'll see stuff, like hats and bags and all that stuff that you can get. I don't sell them online or anything like that. I promote them locally here,
Okay.
throughout Pasco County. So like beach bags. And actually, I think what I'm going to do is, because of this interview today, I'm going to post on Twitter, as a thank you for doing this, and Blue Sky, that I'm going to give away a bunch of free Kick-Ass News beach bags to people. So just
Wow.
as a thank you for doing this. Yeah. So no, I
Hey, very
appreciate
nice.
it. I appreciate you helping getting the word out there, and everything you do for the community is absolutely amazing. I'm beyond blessed that you're, willing to talk to me about all of this. And I'm honored to do it.
Well, thank you, Rick. And we feel the same about you. And let's keep this going. This will not be your one and only appearance on this show. We'll get you on down the road for an hour interview like we just did. But
Absolutely.
if you
I'd be
want to come
interested in
on
that.
for 5 or 10 minutes, you have something special, something, hey, I got to tell the world about this right now. That they're having a big vote, next Thursday on a nude beach in Tampa or whatever. Let us know. We'll get you on for that too.
Oh, absolutely. I appreciate that. I would love to do that. So always willing to be on your show. Once again, I appreciate everything you're doing for the community. It gets us one step closer to removing that stigma from us, and possibly getting that nude beach on the Gulf Coast.
There you go. Way to do it. And again, Rick from kickassnudist.com. Great job, Rick. Keep on doing all that you do, and go out there and have a great clothes-free day. We'll talk again soon.
I will. And one last thing,
Mhm.
it's a great day to get your clothes off and your nude on.
There you go. Thanks a lot, Rick. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. The very terrific Rick from Kick-Ass News. You can find his link to his website in the show notes. He's all over social media. He's out there posting every single day, multiple times. A big advocate for naturism. Really big, trying to help the people get a nude beach in Pasco County in the Tampa, Florida area. And we appreciate all of the time with Rick from Kick-Ass Nudists over these last two shows. And on the next two shows, which will be episodes 93 and 94, we will speak to Justin and Nikki from Nude Lease on Life. Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 92 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning at 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here, and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked, Nudist, and Naturist.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.